Everyone knows how important sleep is, and yet we live in a sleep-deprived society. I want you to remember the last time that you had a poor night's sleep. Remember how awful that it made you feel. Most adults require 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night. Hi. For those of you who are new here, welcome. My name is Matty. I'm a male model, physiotherapist, and fitness enthusiast, and my channel is all about documenting self-improvement, sharing things that help me, and that will hopefully help you too. In this video, I will be sharing with you 5 steps on how you can improve your sleep. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. The first step is to consider your meal timings and meal composition. If you have ever tried sleeping after a big meal, you will know that it's actually very difficult. I'm someone who likes to eat big meals in the evenings, and from my own experience, if I eat a big meal, say around 9 p.m, I am unable to sleep until after 11 p.m. So there's about a 2 to 3 hour gap between the time that you eat your last meal and the time that you're able to get some shut-eye. But aside from these anecdotes, there is actually a scientific reason for this. After eating a large meal, your body has to devote energy to the digestion process. However, during sleep, digestion actually slows. These processes are not synergistic, meaning that they don't really work together very well. However, if you eat a decently sized carbohydrate-rich meal, it can upregulate levels of tryptophan, which is the precursor to serotonin. Serotonin is the neurotransmitter that promotes rest, the relaxation neurotransmitter. Have you ever wondered why you need a nap, or you feel like you need a nap after eating that big bowl of pasta? Carbohydrates can also lower cortisol. This is the stress hormone that can inhibit sleep when levels are elevated at night. So the takeaway from this is to eat a carbohydrate-rich meal 2 to 3 hours before going to bed. The second step is to use your bedroom for its intended purpose, which is to sleep. In my late teens and early 20s, I spent most of my waking hours that I wasn't in school, or that I wasn't out, in my bedroom. It was a multi-purpose room and served me well as a gaming room, a cinema, a cafeteria, an office, and of course, a bedroom. It was during this period that I struggled with sleep and actually developed insomnia. This is because I did not use my bedroom for the intended purpose. When we use our bedroom for other activities such as reading, studying, watching Netflix, we actually create an association with wakefulness. This, of course, is not ideal. What we want to achieve is to only associate our bedroom with sleep. Now, as of a few years ago, I have implemented these changes, and currently my bedroom stores my clothes, has a small floor space for some relaxation yoga or Pilates, and, of course, has my bed for sleeping. I use a separate room for my workspace. However, in today's society, with rising costs of living and stupidly high rent prices, people may have to use their bedroom as an office space as well. In which case, covering your bed during the day while you're working or using the room as an office can actually help to dissociate the bed with wakefulness. The third step is to have a bedtime ritual. So I don't know about you, but I've never been able to just roll into bed in the evening. I'd feel sweaty, dirty, and of course I'd be in my daytime clothes. There has to be a process, a ritual that would get me not only physically, but also mentally ready for sleep. So about an hour before bed, I'd have what is known as a pre-slumber phase. This is where I turn off my electronics, including my phone, use the bathroom, shower, change into my pajamas, and perform my skincare routine. Just before bed, I'll try to read my Bible as well. This ritual is something that I've been doing for the past 2 to 3 years. And as we talked about in the previous step, it has allowed me to associate all these processes with powering down and getting ready for sleep. Where before I used to toss and turn for 45 minutes to an hour before finally falling asleep, I'm now able to fall asleep within 15 minutes. And I'm not naturally one of those people who can just have their head touch the pillow and then suddenly fall asleep. Those are some very lucky people. Step number 4 is to go to bed and wake up at the same time every single day. Okay, so if you're watching this video, I'm going to assume that you work a 9 to 5 job 5 days a week. Let's assume Monday through to Friday you wake up at 7 a.m. to get ready for work because you have to commute into the city. So you go to bed around 11 or 12 p.m. and this allows you to get that precious 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night. Then on Friday evening you end up going out to the pub or to a club and you go to bed around 2 to 3 a.m. on a Friday night, technically a Saturday morning. And then you wake up about 7 hours later at about 9 or 10 a.m. Then on Saturday evening, or rather Sunday morning, you do a slightly better job of going to bed at about 1 a.m, but you still end up having a lie-in and waking up at about 9 or 10 a.m. on a Sunday. Here's where the issue is. Come Sunday evening, you try to go to bed at your weekday time, which is 11 p.m. It proves extremely difficult to fall asleep, and you lie tossing and turning, wondering why you can't get to sleep. And aside from the overwhelming Sunday evening blues, you become really frustrated because you can't actually sleep at the time that you need to in order to get your 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night. This probably all sounds super familiar. It definitely was a few years ago when I worked in the NHS. So why is this the case? Why is it so damn hard to fall asleep on a Sunday evening? It's because you've broken your 5-day streak of a consistent sleep schedule. And quite frankly, it's a pain to get back on track. It's not easy. We are creatures of habit, creatures of rituals, patterns, and processes. By going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, we give rhythm to our internal body clock, or circadian rhythm. It learns to release the hormones to promote sleep in the evening, and therefore throughout the day and as the day goes on, you build a strong desire for sleep, or a sleep pressure. The term used by Dr. Matthew Walker. If you haven't read his book, Why We Sleep, then I highly recommend it. It's really insightful. And then in the morning, your body will learn to release the hormones that are responsible for promoting wakefulness and alertness. We are human too, though. And on the weekends, we might want to go to bed a little bit later so that we can go to social events. In which case, try not to wake up more than 2 hours past your normal 5-day working week waking time in order to minimize disruption to your circadian rhythm. Step number 5 is to keep your sleep environment cool and clean. If you live in a hot country, then you probably benefit from air conditioning. Us Brits get really random hot days in the summer, days when it's swelteringly hot. But also, we have really cold winters. And because our houses aren't really designed to let heat escape, rather they are designed to insulate and keep heat in, because during the winter, things get pretty cold. And as a result of this, the indoor environment of our homes can get very, very warm. This isn't really an issue during the day, but at night when you're trying to sleep, it can be. I remember many times when I'd be lying in bed at night with no duvet and in my underpants. The window would be open, but I could not get any proper shut-eye because the room temperature was 30 degrees Celsius. I'd just be tossing, turning, and sweating in my bed. So the ideal temperature for sleep is between 16 to 18 degrees Celsius. I find that closer to 16 degrees is better for me. Of course, this can easily be achieved during winter in the UK, or it can be achieved with air conditioning in the summer. But not everyone has aircon. I don't have air conditioning. I would like to have air conditioning, and I probably will have air conditioning in the future, but right now, these are a few things that I do in order to keep my room cool during those hotter summer months. The first thing is that I use a reflective foil on my window to reflect the UV rays back outside and to keep the heat out. I then keep my window open during the afternoon and evening when the sun is in a different direction. I would then use a thin or minimal duvet cover and also wear silk or cotton pajamas. After a shower in the evening, I would then not fully dry myself on my hair to allow the water to evaporate from my skin and to cool me down before bed. And the last thing that I've started doing recently, or in the last kind of year or so, is using a chili pad. This is a neat bit of kit where there is a sheet that goes over your mattress and is connected to a little unit which pumps water or cooled water through that little sheet in order to bring the temperature of your sleeping surface down to whatever you set it as. So in my case, I set it to 16 degrees Celsius. Now I hope that you found this video helpful, and if you followed these steps, then you're probably on your way to getting a better night's sleep. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm on my own, broken alone. I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found.